How's it going, guys? Today I'll be discussing what's better, old games or new games. This is GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64. This is what we had back in the day instead of Call of Duty. Multiplayer was held via split screen, and if you wanted to find a match, you had to invite your friends over, which you can do nowadays, but no one really plays split screen because they're too afraid of making their screen smaller and lowering the graphics. But back in the day, graphics didn't really matter to people. It was all about the gameplay. But some of the games did have good graphics, like this one you see, the little intro. Majora's Mask, with a little expansion pack to the N64, you could play in 480i, which is HD back then, standard now. And handhelds were still 8-bit, as of 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. And that most certainly did not prevent people from playing good games back then for handhelds that continue on to become series, and we even see sequels being made now. But that's enough about graphics. Let's talk about good old gameplay. One of my old favorite games is Super Mario 64, just because it was so much fun. You could pick it up, play a level, be done in less than 5 minutes, or you could sit down and play for a few hours. You could take a year to beat it, or if you had a lot of time, you could beat it in one sitting. This game was just so much fun. It could be easy, it could be hard. Of course, there were bugs because it was an N64 game. But what else would you expect? Nothing game ruining. Um, this is just, back then, a perfect game. Back in the day, games got sequels probably about every 2 to 5 years, two at the least. Um, Nowadays, you'll see many series getting sequels every year, and you'll notice that there's a lot less of effort in the developers to make the game the best it can be. For example, Mario games came out about every 5 years, Zelda games about every three, and then you look at games like Call of Duty, where there's not much change. It amounts to some change if you look at the newest game and the oldest game, but look between each game, there's not really that much change. I mean, if you took out all of the Treyarch ones and just looked at the Modern Warfares, you would hardly notice any difference. The only reason it looks kind of different is because you have those alternating time periods that change the graphics. The gameplay is relatively the same. There's no like sweet twist to it or anything. And even game series that used to be like totally cool, like Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, especially 2, those were like really good games. But then it kind of seemed like they were kind of squeezing out sequels with Brotherhood and Revelations. Um, like 3 years in a row, they're going to come out with an Assassin's Creed game. Um, it seems like they're kind of people are going to buy Call of Duty instead of these games because we're going to lose business if we don't put out a game every year now. And sadly, more and more games are fitting into that mindset. But if a lot of developers put a lot more effort into games, put at least 2 or 3 years in between their sequels, games would be so much more enjoyable, just like they were back in the old days, when you could just pop in a game, have some fun, for what it really is, not because it's just what your friend's playing. And I mean, if your friends are playing the game, that's great, because multiplayer, competitive, co-op, it's all really fun. But just because a friend's playing a game that you think is bad doesn't mean you should too. I fall into that a lot. Come play Modern Warfare 3. No, I'm playing some other game, and then I end up just from peer pressure going to play that game. So, what's better, old or new? Whatever you want. Whatever game you have the most fun playing, that's what you should play. That's it. I'm out.